Hello and welcome to the Arsenal Bite-Sized Podcast. I'm your host, Clayton, and it feels like a little bit of back to reality in the Arsenal world. Denied in stoppage time, heartbreak at Sunderland. We will review everything in terms of like what we think went wrong at the Stadium of Light and all of that good stuff. But Uncle Mike, one question for you. If on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is titles done, City are back in it. They're going to go on a run. They're going to completely trump us. And 10 is it was a blip. I can still book my flight back to England in April. Where are you on the scale of 1 to 10 today?
7.
4. All right. So maybe don't book the flight yet. But
make sure you can get
put it in the diary.
Make sure you can change the date. or get a refund.
Go on, yeah. Where you at? I feel similar.
I've not been feeling too good actually. I had to see the doctor today, and I said, look, I'm suffering from anxiety, swing moods, bit of depression, highs and lows, and he just said, mate, you just got title race itis.
Fuck you know.
And
it's true though. I think true. Where we had last year off from a title race, I mean, we had it off from a title race, but we had anxiety in other areas with a never-ending slog of a season. But yeah, I think I've definitely got caught up in it this season and kind of falling guilty and thinking, it's just going to be a home run. We're just going to have an easy run. We're not going to be knocked off our perch at all. And I was on FaceTime to Sud yesterday, actually, for Planet FPL. And he was like, yeah, that never happens. Even when Liverpool won it last year comfortably, it wasn't in October, November they were talking about having a clean run at it, were they?
No.
So
I think there's always going to be blips. And this is exactly what I mean about title race. It's a roller coaster, boys and girls. We know that. As you say, we probably didn't get that feeling so much last year because of, I think we all knew from this point in the season last year, we were out because of the context and the circumstances. So we didn't quite get that. We had the regrets last year rather than the feeling inside that it was within touching distance. And we were joking about flights, and I think we both, there's a difference between having a strong conviction that you're good enough that you'll be there or thereabouts in the end to saying we've won it already. And I don't think many Arsenal fans were saying we've won it already. I think a lot of the media and opposition fans have certainly had it at work all week, where I've had Liverpool, United, City coming up to me going, you've won it, it's yours, it's done. Made me feel really uncomfortable. I know part of it is psychology because it's let's pull praise on Arsenal, and when they don't do it, or if they don't do it, it's another stick to beat them with. But look, every single title race in history, there will be turns and twists, and this is just one of those.
I can't remember one where there hasn't been one.
No, I even thought back to 1989. I mean, 3 days before, for a week before, I think we drew to Wimbledon, or we drew to Wimbledon, and then I think we had a draw with Derby, and then Liverpool went on and they beat West Ham like 5 goals the next night or whatever, and then that made us have to win 2-0. At that time, I mean, that's with 1 game to go. We thought we were out. That's it, done, dead. So look, it's disappointing, but I can kind of understand it.
That's why I wanted to position the question like on that kind of scale of 1 to 10, because I don't think it is just a black and white. I do think it is a scale on like where are you at within there. And then for anyone that's listening, let us know. Like if you didn't hear it, I asked if 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, if 1 is like, the title's done, it's over, City are going to come back and pinch it, and 10 is, we're still going to win it in March, April, like where are you at? And I feel like I'm a 7 as well. And I think the only thing that changed for me this weekend is, so obviously this was, if we won this, it would have been 11 wins in a row, I think, in all comps. Like that's just not going to continue to happen. And I think going into it, like we obviously didn't get a chance to preview the game, but I predicted a draw in my own head, because I think going to the Stadium of Light, knowing how they are at the minute and stuff, and like we are without Martinelli, Madueke, Havertz, Gyökeres, Odegaard, I feel like there's someone else I missed in there. Jesus could obviously influence. Like, I just think we got caught up in the whole like how good. Sorry, that's framing it badly. We're very good. I think we forgot how we are functionally when it is a patch job up front. Because like last year, as much as Merino did a job, there were some uncomfortable games we had to watch. Like the Leicester game, he came on, scored 2 goals. Prior to that week, I know he didn't start that game, but we weren't good in that game. And there were many games in that period where we weren't good with him up front. I know everyone remembers Real Madrid. My unpopular opinion now, looking back, like Real Madrid are a pretty badly coached team across 2 different managers over the last season or 2. But anyway, all that to say, I wasn't confident in our ability to generate much going there, to the point where I'm actually more optimistic about our chances on what I watched. Because like we'll discuss it. I think it was a game of 2 halves. Second half, I was really encouraged with what we were doing offensively with a patchwork front 3. So there's things in it that I'm optimistic about. I'd say the only thing that's changed from my perspective this weekend is it's going to be, and it's kind of what you joked about, like change the date you book your flight. I think City will run us closer than I imagined is the only thing that's changed. And I think like I've kind of gone on the record and said I don't rate the City side, and then started to get a bit nervous because Haaland was going on a disgusting run. But I kind of watched them on the weekend, and do you know what it is? I still think they have weaknesses defensively and in transition. Like Liverpool should have scored a couple of goals. But they've got to this point, this Man City side, where in possession, their structure is like, it's so narrow and it's just full of ballers and technicians to the point where all they're doing is trying to play through like one touches, pass move, and pop teams off the park centrally to the point where they then expand and can run down the wings and have a docu 1v1. And like that works, I think, really well against a lot of teams. It's annoying they're doing that because while I do think a physically powerful team can just bulldoze through the center of that team, when your players are all so close together on the ball, the minute you lose it, they're all close together on the ball. So it's a bit easier to intercept and stuff. So I do think Pep's done his thing where with what he's got, he's found a solution and a strategy and a set of tactics that are probably going to maximize what they've got available, minimize their weaknesses. I'm still hopeful there's enough weaknesses, but I think my thing is teams seem to get in their head a little bit more when they play City and they respect them too much. So I'm thinking St. James's Park in a couple of weeks, are they even going to be the right team to try and bulldoze them and have a go? Because that's probably one of the best teams in the league you could ask for, but they're not in a good moment. So I think that's my worry. But the flip side, to bring it to us, is all of those injured players I mentioned. When we've got the cavalry back, I saw some people talking on Twitter today about like who's going to miss out on the bench when everyone's back. And I just think even a game like yesterday, imagine being able to bring on some of those attacking options, because I know we were 2-1 up, but I think we're bringing those people on and we're making it 3-1, 4-1, rather than having this conversation about how we drop points. So yeah, that's kind of where my head is at. I still feel confident in our ability to go on and put another run together, have the best possible squad and options available to even win the game from the bench in every single game left this season. I know we won't, but it's that ability to try and do it. So I'd say I'm at a 7 on that same scale as well. Should we get into the game, discuss where it all went wrong, or is there anything else that you want to touch on before we get into it?
No, that's all good. I mean, it's mirror what I was thinking. Just going back to the, I just think even if we had one of those attackers available, just one, on varying scales of, even I think Trossard had a really good game. But so if we'd had a Madueke or I think the obvious one is either Havertz or Gyökeres.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
Gyökeres, if you just picture what Gyökeres has done all season, Dan Ballard ain't turning into Frank Lampard if Gyökeres is on the pitch. You know what I mean? He's pinning him. They're having a right old battle. He might have got an elbow in his mush, but there's a different game state, I think, with Gyökeres on the pitch. And did you notice suddenly how well we know the score? How suddenly surrounded Saka gets?
Mate, can we talk about that? Because what's your? I don't know what the question I want to ask is, but fuck Granit Xhaka is what's on my head. Like, great servant for the club, all of this. he was overdoing it in my opinion on the weekend, and I
trying
was
a little bit too hard. I didn't really appreciate the Merino mouthful. He went in, but we were never going to expect anything less than that's his brand, man. That's his brand. So I don't know.
It felt forced. Even this whole hard man act, like I think it's exactly that. I think it's an act. I think he's a good leader. I think he's a good character to have in your dressing room. It just felt like overdoing it. And I think it was that combined. And again, I'm not asking him to fucking bend over, lube up for us, but like, it just felt like, again, on the scale of 1 to 10, it felt like overdoing it to try and play up to shit a little bit more. And it was the thing that was winding me up was like, Arsenal fans fucking cucking him the whole weekend, and like it's just like fuck yeah. I don't know.
But I don't think they get that result if he's not on the pitch.
No,
I agree. I think he drive. So if you're looking at it from their point of view, we're looking at it through eyes of a little bit OTT, mate. But I think for them, he's been a fantastic signing.
Oh, for sure.
And he was a great. I know you're not, but he was a great leader and an example on Saturday. And I think that physicality is what we really struggled with. I put it on the record. That was the hardest game I think we've had all season.
Yeah.
Or the most we felt challenged by another team because the physicality wasn't quite there on our part. And I put that down to the week of 3 away games. For me, you could see it. You could see they were gassed at the end, and we can go back to the striker situation. The fact that you weren't able to change it and bring on a Madueke when Saka was tiring, or more so Merino. I think that was the big. He is a conundrum as a fan. He is in a conundrum that we still don't know what he is. He's probably the best finisher at the club, alongside Trossard. But there were some positions in the first half that he was taking up that I didn't think helped us.
Yeah.
And there's probably part of that is you've got the rail out ball and he's trying to hold it up, but you're standing over in a different position that's not optimizing our play. And then there wasn't the out ball suddenly. So yeah, I think the first half was not great. And I don't know if you've got any stats or anything, but
we'll get into it. But just while you're on him, like he's the weirdest player, Merino. Like, and I don't want to criticize him too much from the perspective of him as a striker because he is doing a job for the team. But like my mate Andrew's in the chat, and we WhatsApp about him all the time. And like you say, he probably is one of the top 3 finishers in the club, but then he can't do a basic 3-yard pass. Everything he does is a fucking flick. It's like not everything needs to be a flick. He does my fucking head in as a player sometimes, and then he comes out and scores a worldie. Well, not a worldie, but you know what I mean. And again, like positionally, I don't know if it was instructions. I don't know, but yeah, I'm trying very hard to not criticize him through the lens of a striker, but there are things about his game, regardless of where he is, that really does my fucking nut in, to be honest. But
I think it's just
Andrew, for me with Merino, it's the flicks all the time. Sometimes chill.
it's this old thing, isn't it? It works, when you've got a Holding coming in for a Saliba or a Merino coming in for a Gokaresh or a Havertz. For a couple of games, you can just get by, and then 3 or 4 games in, he's sort of found out as a striker, and I think that's where we are at the moment. And I think we can get that so long. I think we might even be in that position potentially for the Spurs game.
You think there's a chance Gyökeres won't make it? Yeah,
I think. Well, we've heard all this talk about the cavalry coming back, but they're not going to have one single minute under their belt, and you're chucking them straight into the North London derby. So whether they're all back on the bench, now obviously there's a lot of minutes that's still to be played before then. Would you? I mean, it all depends on how bad this niggle was. It could be.
What even was it? I can't even remember, to be honest.
That's the thing. It's so vague. And is it a smoke screen? You know what we spoke about it on here before. Suddenly, next Tuesday we'll get a bomb to say Gokaresh is out for 6 weeks.
Oh, don't do that.
So, but you know what? You know that happens. So. Is it a real smokescreen? So it's like one game. Don't protect him, so he doesn't have to go on the international duty. We can get him fully trained up in in the training ground while everyone's away, and he's bang ready to go.
For what it's worth, that's what I think. Like, I think again on the balancing act, I don't think he could have played Sunderland. I think if he was remotely available, he would have played him because points in this league are so hard to get. But I do think it is what we're seeing where there's just more precaution around things. And for what it's worth, I'm on that side of, I think he wasn't quite there for Sunderland, but it's not so bad that he'll be out for too long and he should be okay for Tottenham. But obviously that's without really knowing the details and the diagnosis and stuff. There's one thing that you said there that's really stuck with me, and I do think it was 3 away games in a week, right? Like Burnley, I don't think we should be contesting, but the Slavia Prague game took more out of us and was harder than I thought it would be. And I think that combined with like the physicality of Sunderland, it just with the attacking options we had available, I just think it's as simple as we fell short. I think my only thing is looking at, we played Saliba Gabriel midweek, Slavia Prague. Did we need to do that? Is my thing. Like I don't know where I've landed as an answer, to be honest, but I'm just looking at that. Like Gabriel and Saliba, they had to earn their paycheck on Saturday. So
and I think the press was affected, wasn't it? You could see that without Odegaard, without Gokaresh, there's stats going out there that he's the biggest presser or the most aggressive presser, the biggest presser, does the most pressing in the league.
Was that
Gokaresh. I don't want it to turn into the Verts with his off the ball run stats that Sky produce to cover bullshit performances, but that's a huge part. We know that's his game. Relentless running, pressing. Odegaard, exactly the same.
Eze and Merino are probably, if you could handpick 2 people you don't want to lead our press, it's probably them.
Yeah, and Eze is trying his best, but that's not his game. You can ask Palace fans. He was never the height. He was never the and there's still, we spoke about it a week ago, and we get into it a little bit. But the Eze performance, but
he's doing my head in a bit. I'll be honest.
So I think the press factor was there. The players just looked, they put everything in the tank. They've just like they've done. Even the goal, if you look at the second goal, Saka sort of throws up a lazy leg, which sort of spins off into the centre. Merino then chases after it. He's absolutely gassed. He's gassed at 60 anyway, normally every game, and he was done. And they were just and that Premiership football, a split second, if you're off it 1 split second, you're getting punished. So I put it like there was nothing I saw on Saturday. Sky already running shit on there saying, "Is this the blueprint?" Well, what blueprint?
Fucking blueprint.
Tell me the blueprint you're talking about, because we can deal with anything that you've got. But I don't think that, and that's what is the encouraging thing for me, and that's why I'm on a 7. Because if we didn't create chances and we got half open and suddenly we look shaky as fuck, I'm concerned. But I just think that's a title race blip that happens. And if you really want to flip it, I think, we all know there's plenty of games in a season that you win games when you shouldn't and you lose games when you should have won and you draw, blah, blah, blah. The United game, first game in the season, those fuckers have not stopped going on about, we dominated Arsenal. If we'd won the Arsenal game, we'd be top of the league. They should have. They played better than us on that day.
Yep.
Whether they deserved a draw or not, we got away with 3 points on that day. And yet on Saturday, we dropped 2. So I'm cool with that, man.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like I said, we got so caught up in the winning the winning run. Drop points are going to happen over the course of the season. I think the anxiety is probably in everyone's head because A, we have 80% of our attack missing. B, the other side of the break, regardless of what you think of them, it's a North London derby, it's Bayern Munich, it's Chelsea, and then I think there's Villa in there somewhere away. And I think it's what we saw City do to Liverpool as well. So I think it's all of those factors that's causing everyone to be a bit anxious. But yeah, I feel fine. I think there will be a lot of teams that go to Sunderland and drop points. I think my slight frustration, which one is something that wasn't in our control, is the lack of attacking depth for this game. The only thing I'm looking back on, and this is a hindsight thing, if Gabriel had the night off in Prague, could we have still got 3 points and had him a little bit fresher for this game? But that's pure hindsight. I accept that. Should we get into the game? I believe it was a game of 2 halves. I don't know. The first half, if I could summarize, was one that was stop-start. Like they did everything they could and should do to disrupt the game. It was slow tempo. I felt, despite that, there was a lack of intensity from us. We conceded, obviously, from like quite weak defending. Dan Ballard just kind of bruising his way through. But then second half, I thought we were outstanding, mate. And if you look at the stats of the whole game, I haven't got the split of first half versus second half. But for those listening on podcast, if you just look on YouTube, timestamp around 20 minutes in, you can see the graph there. So like the match stats were their XG was 1 to our 2.47. Their threat was 0.68 to our 1.61. Possession 35 to 64. Field tilt was 22 to 77. And yeah, you can just see it on the graph as well. First half looks kind of cagey, a little bit even, and then boom, it just rockets after half time. But what would you put let's talk through the first half. What would you put the first half down to? Would you agree with what I said? Anything else to it?
Agree with what you said, mate. But again, I just think you've had Sunderland week off, getting ready for the Arsenal to come to town. Crowd were up for it, 5:30 kickoff. Raucous as fuck, although I done my little official Arsenal commentary with Smooth FM. I can't be listening to that Sky shit, mate. Don Goodman creaming over every time he wants us to get a yellow card. I can't have it. I just can't. It just winds me up.
He was a nightmare. Like
honestly, as soon as I knew it was him, as soon as I knew it was him, I'm like, no, I'm not having that. I got Adrian Clark. Why listen to them wankers when you can listen to two gooners?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And winner takes it all from ABBA. So you know what? It's. I just think it was a competitive game. No one really. We had created a couple of things. They didn't really. I mean, the goal helps, doesn't it? The goal helps. The goal changes that, and they do. The goal changes that how they were playing. I just think Rice could have done a little bit better on that first goal. It looked like he got a little bit manhandled. Didn't jump for the ball. Could Gabriel and Calafiori been a little bit more aggressive coming out for the ball? But we're nitpicking here. It's a goal.
I want to take you back before the goal.
I know what you're going to say.
Did you think it was a foul?
No way.
Me either,
no way.
Mate.
No way. Not even. I mean, the ref. Let's have it. We don't. I don't want to go on and bang on about refs, and thankfully we haven't had to do too much of that this season. But the ref was an absolute toss. Some of those challenges. I mean, there was treatment Saka got. Five fouls that geezer had on Saka before he got a yellow. And that was never a yellow for Zubimendi. That was a shock. I just thought it was a 50-50 ball play on.
Hey, and then that's what fucking ball. I don't know what I don't get it.
And the ref was in a good position as well. It wasn't, so that was annoying. And the way it dropped, then bang. I mean, it was a good, lovely finish from him, but
sorry to interrupt you. I just saw a comment from Bobby that made me. To be fair, this did make me laugh. He says, "Afternoon, lads. Just finished work." So Bobby's name is Bobby Love. The amount of messages I got just saying "Brobby Love" at full time. that's
harsh, man.
That's quite funny, to be fair.
Yeah, that's harsh, man. So yeah, I just think then. So the first half we're 1-0 down.
Andrew said, "Yeah, I forgot about this. There was also a Xhaka foul before that free kick."
Yes. So it was a bit frustrating that first half, and you could just see it that they were up for it. I'm not saying we weren't up for it. I think it was good to see as the game developed that we didn't succumb and go 2-0 down. So yeah, I liked the character. Any particular threatening moments from us in the first half?
Well, the fucking Saliba volley.
Oh my god! Shit. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm being harsh. Like a ball trying to hit a volley side on and cut through it. I'm not being harsh. That's a professional footballer. You should be hitting that on target. Like he sliced it. And mate, I feel like I'm going in on him the last couple of weeks. It's not meaning to come across like that, but technically he is not as clean as people make out. People make out he's like perfect and this 10 out of 10. Like he's got so many more developmental areas in his game than people let on, and I don't know why. Like maybe I'm just being a wanker for some reason, but like I only ever say it as I see it. And technically, I don't think he's as crisp as people make out. He had a bozo moment earlier in the game as well. I forgot what it was now, classic. But but yeah, that one, I thought he should have done a lot better on that personally. I think like if you're a professional footballer, you should be hitting the target on that. So that's the only real one I remember, to be honest. And again, it kind of sums up the first half. Like we didn't really create anything of note. And yeah, just looking at the stats on, so this is a different model. This is FOTMOB. Stats from the first half was they had 3 shots, we had 5. They had 1 on target, we had 2, 1 big chance each. I'm guessing our 1 big chance was the Saliba one. That's the only one that's stuck in my head. Obviously, we had like a Rice free kick. Yeah, I was lining that up, thinking, oh, here we go. I think Eze had a chance, maybe, but yeah, that's the only stuff I remember, to be honest, from the first half. But
Saka had a little wriggle up, I think, and got blocked off, but it wasn't really many clear cut, and that's why I think you miss. We said it. You miss your Gokaresh, you miss your Havertz to take the game to them in that first half. But Arteta, he's getting good at these. Well, you know, he's geeing up at half times. I think there's been a number of games this season where we've been poor in the first half for whatever reason, and then as soon as he come out, you can just tell they've had the old hairdryer treatment.
yeah,
and they just look so different in the second half. I thought we played some lovely stuff in the second half.
and this is what. So my unpopular opinion, I don't think this scoreline reflected the game. I've seen a lot of people say that Sunderland were good value for the point. I disagree. I think they were good value for how they battled, they fought, they worked hard, all of those things. That doesn't equate to deserving to get something from a game of football. And I'm not saying we deserve to win, because end of the day, like, we defended poorly for their 2 goals. I just think you simulate this game 100 times, we're winning this 70 to 80 times of that, because like we did well, we created good chances and stuff in the second half. And it's interesting, the game of 2 halves things, because like half time I wasn't feeling confident at all in getting anything, but then we score in the 54th minute excuse me, and I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to go on and win this, like no doubt. And then I think this is what I was saying earlier, my frustration is we get that first goal, we get the second, frustration in the things that aren't in our control. If we've got your Gyökeres, your Madueke, your Martinelli, you're able to keep going and get a third. And I just don't think we had that. And I'll see, like, we'll talk about it in a bit, but I've seen a lot of people talking about the subs and like whether he should have put Mascara on or not. And like, I do want to have that conversation, but before we get there, I just want to talk about the second half a bit more, some of the goals, some of the chances. I mean, that first goal, like that was brilliant, right? Like how we win the ball back. And I think that's something that we lacked so much last year, the ability to win it back and then hit it in the back of the net within 10 seconds. Boom, done. Like, I thought that was a great goal.
Yeah, there was some really good stuff, wasn't there? And it was such a good goal. And it was, as much as we love him, it was quite good not to have a set piece goal. Although I do love boiling piss, but yeah, we played some nice stuff, and then a couple more chances. You know, you had the Eze one. I think Eze had 2, but there's certainly one that he could have done a little bit better, I think, and just hit it straight down into the goalkeeper path, didn't he? And I think he's becoming a bit of a frustrating watch for me.
Same.
And I don't want to go in on him. And
just say what's on your mind. Yeah.
He's a moments player. He's a moments player, and that is why we bought him. He is for those moments. But then you've got to take the moments. You know, you need to be finishing that, and that's Trossard finishes that. Merino finishes that. Odegaard, probably Saka.
Can you remind me? I'm having a mind blank.
I think it come up from a corner. Merino won the corner, and then he's on the penalty spot, and it sort of opens up, and he just sort of gets over it, and he rifles it down.
Yeah.
And either side of the goalkeeper. I mean, it was a hard chance, but I would have liked to see him do it, but it was almost straight at the goalkeeper, and I think slightly to the side. And we say he's the moments player. I want to see him run an Arsenal game. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
I want to see him run an Arsenal game, like Odegaard can take it by the scruff of the neck and run it and say, right, this is my game today. Whether he'll ever be able to do that, I don't know, because I never watch Palace. We watch highlights of Palace. We watch YouTube comps. We see him on 5 minutes on Match of the Day, unless you've triple captain in your FPL team. You're not watching many full 90 minutes of Palace. So have we built him up into a player that he's never going to be? or is it just the adjustment period of? He's done okay. I'm not saying he's been rubbish. I just want to see more, and I believe we will see more because from Palace, I believe he's stronger in the second half of the season, and that's when we need him. He'll be a little bit more adjusted. We've still got to give the caveat. He has had no. We talked about it last week. The pods, and his pod is disrupted at the moment. He's had no striker. He's only had Gokaresh to work with, which is the pod that he should really be able to do better because that's the Mateta sort of likeness. I just want to see a little bit more.
Do you know what it is? I'm on a spectrum with him. I think on one hand, I sympathize with what you said about the pods, the lack of consistent relationships. I think we know his desired position is probably playing off the left anyway, with like an overlapping fullback out there. Or I think it was West Ham at home. We started Rice, Odegaard, and Eze, like have him in the left 8 sort of thing. But he's still a quality player. And I agree, he does come to life more in the second half of the season. But why are we accepting that? That's not the standards of this football club. Like, you're not here to coast, mate. And I think one thing people tend to like about his personality is he's quite laid back. That is fucking angering me. Like, you're not at Palace to coast around, walk around, swagger. There's like fucking run for your team. Like, he's really pissing me off. And like, I know that's not his game, but if you're not controlling or influencing a game, you better be running your fucking socks off. And he's not doing that. He is coasting. And like, fair enough. If that's his personality, if that's his vibe, I get that off the pitch. On the pitch, if you're not contributing, you better pull your fucking finger out. And he's angering me, mate. He's maybe I'm.
I can tell, mate. Yeah. You can see getting triggered, but he won't last long like that in an Arteta team. So we know that.
Yeah, but I think it's like I don't know. I hate seeing people coast, and like you can tell, he's a quality player, right? And he has got that aura, a vibe of someone that coasts around. They take their pretty touches and stuff, but you got to be delivering if you're like that. And I think that, like, again, a good thing you said, like, is he the sort of player to control a game? Now, you can control games in different ways. I think we're so used to seeing Odegaard facilitate everything across 3 phases, and he'll be in the final third, 100 touches. He'll be in the first third, 100 touches. You can influence and control games with less touches, but being decisive in your actions and threatening in your actions. And we saw a snippet of it in the Burnley game. He was picking up good positions. We were feeding him the ball. He was taking a bang turn, driving centrally. The final action was missing, but that intent was there. I'm not seeing enough consistency in that. And yeah, it's fucking me off. It's really pissing me off. And like, again, it's a spectrum I wanted to share, where on one hand, I sympathize, I empathize. I think the setup isn't optimal for him. On the other hand, I'm like, you're a 65, 70 million pound player that's quality, supposedly wants to die for the badge. Let's fucking see it then. So yeah,
agreed.
That's my brutal, honest thoughts on where I'm at with him. I'm not impressed, but I don't think this is going to be the level we see forever either. I just want to say it as I'm seeing it for the minute.
Should we go on to...
Yeah, let's go from the rant to the lover boy at the minute, Trossard. Oh, sorry, were you going to say something else?
No. I'm going to talk about Trossard. I think that it's amazing what a pay rise does, doesn't it? Give Tross some more dosh, and he becomes the boss. And I think he's certainly our first choice left winger now. If with a fit Martinelli, I think he can't argue with that. But that is the problem. But that is the problem with that. Yeah, but that is the problem with Tross. I think I fall into this where he does this and then you start him. And he didn't do. If you think about it, if you're looking at his stats, right? Not eye test, stats on Saturday, they weren't impressive. 2 touches in the opposition box. 2 touches in the opposition box. Jules lost. 4 attempted crosses, none. So on stats, not good.
He's another
if you're putting a goal out like that, mate, you're doing all right for me. Mate,
I went mental. I went absolutely mental. What a rocket! And I think I'm someone that I don't fall into this trap with Trossard. I'm very much like, I'm very grateful for your time at Arsenal. You've been an unbelievable output machine, good value for money. As soon as the cavalry's back, I do not want to be relying on you as a player. I want to optimize you as a player by using you in key moments here and there. I think he's been very good this season, but I'm still thinking, like, as much as I just slagged him off, Eze on the left wing in a lot of games for me will get the best out of him and have him with a Calafiori or a Hincapie. Madueke on the left wing, was it Forest or Leeds? We saw that. I can't remember. One of them. It looked good.
I think
was it Leeds? Yeah. I'm just options. Yeah. I do not want anyone to get comfortable or safe in this team, but at the same time, he's coming in clutch when we need him. So
he's Mr. Reliable, isn't he? He and what I like about him, he's not. You know, we see some players are scoring the fifth in a 5-0. He's not that guy. He like Saka's record used to be. He either scores the goal that takes you ahead or equalizers or whatever. So, and it feels to me that's what Trossard's got. That they're all big, important goals. And when that goal went in, I was like, right, that's it, man.
100%. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that was a sign of like, look, we've, and I think the players thought that as well. And you can see that if we had had that one extra attacking option, then that would have been a different game state. And I think we can push them back. There's a graph there from Scott at Cannon Stats, and he's got the pass map, and he's got in each quarter. So you can see the quarter for the first half, second half, and then each quarter of the half, and the fourth quarter. You can see that we retreated a lot, and I think if you'd had a Gokaresh or a Madueke or someone that could take the ball up the pitch, a runner, I don't think we would have settled back into that. And I think that goes into the subs question. At the time, I wasn't screaming for Max Dellman or Nwaneri to come on. I don't know about you. I was screaming for let's fucking pull backs to the ball, let's defend this. I think it's a bit of hindsight, Merchant, to say, yes, we should have brought on. In the context of the game, I've heard a lot of people, we should have brought Max Dellman on. Mate, what were they doing to Saka? The geezer took 5 challenges to get a yellow card before he to give it to Saka. Craig Paulson as referee, Max Dellman on the pitch with 15 minutes to go. He's getting a broken leg.
Yeah, and Bobby said Bobby was in the. I think he was at the game. He said, Paulson was awful. Even in the stadium, we could see the lack of consistency he had in applying the same level of refereeing on our fouls versus theirs. They got away with a lot more. So, sticking on a 15-year-old.
Totally agree, Bobby. Yeah, so and I think the same with Nwaneri as well. I mean, Nwaneri's a little bit more robust and can be up for it, but he's still 18. I think it was a day for men on that day.
I think this is the whole outcome-driven analysis stuff, like that we've seen sticking on a defender back 5 so many times, and it works for us. And Nwaneri or Dellman was not the answer in this game, in my opinion, either. I agree. And you can say things in hindsight, but just be honest with yourself in what you are asking for at the time.
At that time, where you saying bring on Max Dellman when we're just gone 2-1 up, and you imagine if it had gone, say the result had still happened, right? What criticism do you then get? Cocky Arteta is bringing on a 15-year-old when you're 2-1 up in a game like that.
Another scenario that could have easily happened in a parallel universe. We bring on a Dellman or a Nwaneri, who are both young. I've spoken about Nwaneri's development points a lot. They get the ball. They're driving towards Sunderland's box. They lack the maturity. They lose the ball. Ball comes back in. It's a cross, they score. And everyone say we should have brought on a 5th defender. Like, that's the way it goes. I think shit happens like this sometimes. Do you know what? So I'm probably going to upset the crowd here. I had no issues with the lack of subs. The only sub I would have made, which Andrew will know this because I texted him at halftime, that felt, and I'm going to get shouted out here, that felt like a Miles Lewis Skelly game for me at halftime, in the sense of him being able to unlock things, drive through the middle, attract people to then pop it off. Like, I know we worked in the second half, so we didn't need it, but that's the only thing that crossed my mind, in the sense of, like, I didn't think we were able to unlock them per se naturally in open play, and we managed to do that. That's the only sub that crossed my mind, and that was for a brief period at halftime, where I then saw the second half pan out, was happy with everything. We go 2-1 up, and I'm thinking, yep, get on a defender here to see it out. I don't think, with the options we had on the bench, offensively that were Max Dowman, Harriman Anus, or Ethan Waneri, I would have wanted any of them to come on in that situation. That's my personal opinion. Not saying I'm correct or right, but that's how I saw it and felt it. And I do think there's a lot of hindsighty type stuff. Andrew did say, to be fair, he would have brought on Norgard actually. Like that.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, that one I would have agreed with as well. But
who for though? Merino or for Zubi?
I can't remember what he said.
Merino looked more fucked, so I'd probably put him on for that. But Zubi was on a yellow, wasn't he? But he sort of controlled it. But yeah, I agree with good point, Andrew. That would have been the same. And then you just think, all right, fuck it, we are going for it. Just dig in, and we've seen ourselves do that many a time where we can just dig in. Do you think it was Raya's fault for the goal?
Yes. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. That was pretty poor in my opinion. I think that defending was soft as well. Gabriel's been a little soft in a couple moments this season, hasn't he? I think he could have imposed himself a bit more. But Raya, if you're coming there, you have to 110% claim and collect that. If you're 99% sure you're going to get it, you stay on your fucking line and you react and you make yourself big.
Because I mean, I find it quite hard to quit. I know we're not criticising, we're just saying. I think because of what he'd done earlier in the game, where he had come off quickly off of his line and made that amazing triple save, he was just sort of pumped and like, right, this is my job. I got to do this.
That was outrageous, by the way.
Yeah, those saves. I mean, he kept us in the game. He kept us in the game. So I think.
Would it have been flagged for offside?
Or... Yes, it probably would have. Yeah, but they'd find a way. They would have found a way, mate, on the day. So they would have just been on the phone to Bald Howard and said, "Should we give this or not, mate?" So, so I find it hard to criticise him with that because it was just in his game that he 94th minute, 95th minute, right, I'm going to come out, I'm going to be the hero. And in hindsight, you could have just sort of stayed on. If you stay, as you say, you come out and you take both men out and you get the ball, or you stay on your line, no in between. And I think it was, do you think Gabriel could have done more?
That's what I'm saying.
Been a bit stronger.
I think he was soft,
He would just sort of take it, but then the likelihood of a last-minute penalty or whatever, I don't know. It was so heartbreaking, that goal, because with 2 minutes to go, we are 10 points ahead.
9 points ahead. At the time, maybe it was 10.
We would have been 11 points ahead, I think. It would have been some mad 10 points or something.
I think it was 9, actually. Sorry.
Because and that's what I think hurt more, is if you would, it was so close to having that buffer zone, and that is a massive thing going into November, but it wasn't meant to be. Frustrating end, but it's just mad, isn't it? How if we were 2-0 down and we score that, say that Trossard goal was in the 85th minute, and that takes you to 2-2. We're happy. But the manner of it, that we were that close, 7 minutes of injury time seemed excessive. I think there was it Eza when he finally did make the sub? Was it went off and it was quite slow going off, and then you could see the ref going like that. You'd like.
That was a moment where I enjoyed his nonchalance, I've got to say. But
but then he puts the extra 30 seconds on again, didn't he? So I think that was a huge. Normally I'm watching and I could see it, and I'm like, no problems here. We're going to see this out. I wasn't feeling like that on the when those 7 minutes of injury time were put up. And there's all the nonsense about the long throws. We've shortened our advertising holdings. Like, have you actually looked at our stats? We haven't scored one goal from a long throw. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know. I think people probably just have that. You remember
they take more long throws than us.
I know.
And it works. I think we're both the goal set pieces. I don't want to sound like Arnie Slot here, but both the goals are.
That's what I mean. Like it's
just. Football,
I think on the throw-in thing, I think the thing that a lot of people will have in their heads is, remember PSG away last year? Like that first 10, 15 minutes, we were fucking battering them with the long throws, and it looked imposing. So I think that's just stuck in people's heads. Andrew's made a good point. There was the save at the end, right, where Calafiori's header, and did it rebound to someone? I can't remember.
I think it came out and then it got blocked. But yeah, there was a little bit of chaos in the box, wasn't there, in the end? And I think we were more likely to score at that point. And you just know we did. I think we did need that third goal, but I didn't. When we brought on Mosquera, I thought, right, I can't see us not seeing this out.
I felt like you said when the 7 minutes came up, you didn't feel like as confident in kind of seeing it. I did. I won't lie. I felt fine, like, because I've seen us do it many times, and again, it's the way it happened. Fair play to them, and like fair play to Brobbey, but like that's uncharacteristic, despite having seen it already this season, of Gabriel to be like that and Raya to make a mistake like that. So it's it was unusual behaviors from our players that caused the goal from the Arsenal lens, and that's why, like, I felt relatively comfortable. I'm not going to bullshit anyone. So it's one of those things, unfortunately. I think that another chance I forgot to mention was, remember Zubimendi hitting the bar? I think that was just before Trossard's one. So like, who knows how that would have impacted.
Yeah, that was unlucky, wasn't it? That was a lovely shot. But yeah, so we had the chances, and that's why I'm not worried in the general scheme of things.
No, me either. I think that's a wrap from the game, to be honest. Is there anything else that you want to cover from it? All right. If anyone's got any questions, let us know. We'll see if we've got anything in. It wasn't a question, but I did see Andrew actually said so. Simon Collins said that Madueke was basically ready for Sunderland, but we decided not to risk him. So hopefully that means he's back for the North London derby. Let's pray and hope that we get the cavalry back together.
There was talk, wasn't there, of one being, Arteta was being a bit evasive at the press conference, saying there was talk of one being back, and it sounds like it was Madueke that could have been back. But you don't want to risk him for that, and then he's done for another 6 weeks. So we could have done with him, probably would have changed it, but I'm glad. That week, next week we've got coming back from the international break. That defines our season, and that's a big thing. That is a huge week, and I think that's why it would have been nice to go in to this internet. Now we're talking like we've lost, or a lot of the fan base are talking.
And for what it's worth, there would have been Arsenal teams in the past that did. I was impressed with that. To be 1-0 down. The way we came out second half, like, I know it's annoying fundamentally we didn't win, but like I said, I'm encouraged with what I saw. A lot of my concerns around Arsenal have been like how we approach things in open play, and I saw enough to think, there's going to be times this season, especially when everyone's back and available, like in open play, we'll be able to pin teams and unlock them, which is not something I felt we had for periods last season.
Yeah, I just think that's a huge week, so let's just hope. All eyes on the international break and watching obscure games just to see if your player doesn't get injured. Yep. So I'll be watching Ecuador, whoever they're fucking playing, at 1:00 in the morning. So yeah, we just hope we have a clean bill of health, come back, and then we're ready to go for the huge game against Tottenham, because they're looking shaky, but they've got a good away record. So I don't dismiss any team managed by Thomas Frank against Arsenal.
And I never dismiss the North London derby regardless.
No. So that's huge. So we need to be ready and firing for that.
As much as you say you're looking forward to watching random games, I don't think anyone's going to top what I did yesterday. I went to, I think a lot of people have seen this game. I went to watch the Canadian Premier League Playoff Cup final. Atletico Ottawa against, I can't even remember the opposition, Cavalry or something. And it was in the snow. They had their bloody leaf blowers out to try blow the lines and everything. Had volunteers shoveling everything. The temperature was a joke, but went and watched live football in the snow, which was fun. Saw a bicycle kick, which people are calling an icicle kick. So that was very fun. But just to wrap up, a couple points. I'm going to say something quite fun for what our next pod is going to be. But I think Andrew's comment is probably the best. Well, let me read someone else's before Andrew's, because Andrew's is the best way to wrap it up. But IBK Max says, Trossard's goals turn around games. Martinelli's goals finish off games. And I think of that. Sorry, I see that, and I think of that Palace game last year where Martinelli came on and finished it off at the Bernabeu, all of that good stuff. So, yeah, I agree. But Andrew was saying he's already counting down to the Spurs game. City have tougher away games than us. Overall, a great period and shouldn't let this draw subtract from that up the arse. So, I agree with that. The fun thing I was saving is we're going to do a pod on Friday. Did we say 4 p.m. UK time? So, I don't know what we're going to call it, but opportunistic selling is the theme, and we've been speaking about transfer windows for a long time, how we're terrible at selling, need to get better at selling. Is there going to be a point where we need to make a sale that's uncomfortable, like what Liverpool did with Luis Diaz? You cash in on someone who's in a certain age profile at the prime of their game, and you cash in and reinvest. I want people to send in their names of players that they would be open to offers that may be unpopular. I'll put some things out on Twitter as well. DM Mike, DM me, let us know. Are there any players you think would be deemed unpopular that if a decent offer came in, you would take it? There's one that I've said that I know is going to cause tears in the fan base. I would sell him for the right fee next summer. Bobby's guessed who it is. Yeah, like I said, we'll do some more on Twitter. Is there anything you want to say on that to like preview?
And everyone, I'll take that. I'll take that right there, mate.
Andrew, Cole Hyde, 50 mil. We will be there.
We can chuck in the Congo as well. Is everyone on the table then?
Everyone is on the table.
Right. Okay. Yeah, this will be interesting. So yeah, I'm. Yeah,
I know when we spoke about it, you were saying like, should we do a task where it's like you have to raise X amount of money? Who are you doing? Or
I don't know. I don't know how you feel. It's just
I saw a thing doing the rounds the other day where it was a photo of Saka, Gabriel, Saliba. I think it was those three, and it was like gun to your head. You have to sell one. Who is it? So like we can have fun with it, right? Like there's not going to be a structure to it. I just want to have uncomfortable conversations for the fun of it.
I think that's more. I think that sounds quite that sort of format where you have to sell one, but they are uncomfortable decisions within all three. Because let's be honest, we could all lowball it and, as you say, sell Carl Hein for 50 million, or can we get Cedric back and sell him?
Mate, the one you're gonna want to slap me through the camera. The one I'm thinking of, I'm not even saying I would entertain offers. I would almost fish for an offer
really
to sell at a premium price. Sorry, because I think that profile is replaceable, and that is going to cause fucking carnage.
Yeah, it better not be fucking Saka, mate. Otherwise, I'm handing my notice in.
Final question.
No, you're not denying it, man. You fucker.
I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to build it. I'm engagement farming. Final question from Charles. Does Raya worry you? His decisions during this clean sheet run, beginning of Atletico Madrid match, Sunderland Equaliser, his Brentford CV shows sometimes, not to berate him. I'll be honest. I've said this again to my mate Andrew, and like we kind of disagreed on this before. He's someone I think can be upgraded on, in my opinion. I think he's amazing and does very well within the structures we've provided around him as a football team. As much as he has these saves, like the triple saves he's done and stuff, I do think there'll be periods in the next 2-3 years where, within the context of what we are as a football club looking to dominate in Europe, in the quarters, the semis and so on, I don't think we're going to be having conversations around him like we did. Wow, the Courtois, Donnarumma, how did they do that? So he doesn't worry me. I just don't think he's as invincible as our fan base makes out, in my honest opinion. Everyone's on the table for an upgrade, aren't they? Not Saka. Not in my there you are. So yeah, I wouldn't say he worries me, but there's definitely a factor of like, I think it's a byproduct of the team he plays in. When you've not got much to do, I think the most concentrated person in the world would struggle. But yeah, I do think there's areas of his game that could be improved on, but aren't a priority in my honest opinion. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Yeah, let us know in the comments. I'm looking forward to that pod on Friday. Let us know your unpopular sales, who you think we could kind of cash in on in their pomp to drive some revenue, because we can't keep outlaying the windows we do without getting some back. But we'll leave it there. This was a good one. As much as it was annoying to drop points, I did ask you last week, are you bored of winning? So I felt like we had a lot more to cover today.
And we knew that the problem last year was the draws, and we had 14 of them, and we knew that we were never going to win every game. We were never going to continue keeping clean sheets. It's an annoyance, but it is a blip. So keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Lovely stuff. All right, we'll be back on Friday. We're on our road to 400 subs. I think we've got 20 left. If we could do it by the end of the month of November, that would be very good. So, when the pod goes live, share it with all your mates. If you're in Arsenal chats, all of that good stuff. If you're watching live, which many of you were today, drop the stream a like, always helps us. 5-star review on audio goes a long way. And, just share the news. I think that's always the biggest thing, word of mouth amongst the Arsenal community. But, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much. We'll be back on Friday. Up the Arsenal.